welcome to Happy Hour with Haley. I'm Haley Chura, and this week I am joined once again by Jocelyn, the Wong star, Neill. Jocelyn, I am so glad to be back chatting with you because I don't know if you caught last week's episode.
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
It was right after Ironman New Zealand with myself, Katie Tresson-Torney, Samantha Rothberg. Did you catch what we missed in our whole episode?
Was it about, you guys didn't talk about the race at all? Like the pro race?
We talked about the race, I think. Well, maybe we didn't talk about the pro race as much as we should have.
You talked about like each other's race as well, your experience.
That was mostly, but we forgot a beverage.
Oh, yes,
Like,
yes.
this is Happy Hour with Haley, and afterwards, we forgot a beverage. We also forgot to take a photo afterwards, so that's why there was no Instagramming. Plus, my travel back to the U.S. was a little bit of, delays. It took a long time. But we forgot beverages, and I was like, if Jocelyn were here, we would not have forgotten the beverages. So I'm so glad you're here this week.
I did. Well, I think it's because I did check on the show notes. You put like, sorry, Jocelyn, we forgot beverages.
Did I really?
So I did. Yeah, I did see that. So
I knew you'd be disappointed in us. You do such a good job of making sure that we have a beverage. So with that in mind, what did you bring this week?
okay, so I don't know. I felt very unprepared this week, and it was a little chaotic. But I did have a beverage, so I just pulled out a fun beer.
Yeah.
So this
Black
is,
Lotus.
isn't it pretty? So this is
Yes.
from a local brewery, First State Brewing Company. Delaware is the first state, and so every company here is labeled like First State this, First State that. But it's a Black Lotus coffee stout.
Nice. Does it have caffeine in it? Because we are recording quite late at night.
We are. Well, it's 7% alcohol. It does say coffee dark chocolate latte. And it's a collab with Little Goat Coffee, which is a local roasting company too. But it has a really fun pattern.
That is a very fun pattern. Are you the type of person who can drink caffeine and still go to sleep?
Well, I usually have, if I have a second cup of coffee, it's like by 3:00. So, and if I take too many gels, like caffeinated gels in a race, then I can't sleep. So I don't know.
You're allowed to not drink it. I will say, for the purpose of this podcast, I appreciate you bringing it. But if it's going to impact your sleep, because we are recording a little bit later in the evening, that is totally fine. I will add that here in Montana, we're recording after 7 p.m. Mountain Time, after 9 p.m. Eastern, but it is still light out here because while I was in New Zealand, everyone here in the U.S. had a time change, and I'm really appreciating that. So thanks for going through all that while I was gone.
I am going to drink it, though.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay, living on the wild side here. This is the chaotic podcast. I brought a shot. A ginger shot.
Shots.
It's non-alcoholic, but I feel like this is dangerous anyway. I think it's supposed to be healthy, but have you ever taken a ginger shot?
No, but it's good for your immune system.
I know, I'm very much trying to like help this immune system. And I did sample a lot of local IPAs while I was in New Zealand.
Okay.
There were some very good options. The last one I had at I think it was the Queenstown airport, it was called Hazy 80s. That was my favorite. It was very like fluorescent 80s themed. It really got me. But okay, here we go. Should I do this?
Cheers. Wait, are you going to chug it?
Yeah.
Yes. Chug.
Yeah.
A little spicy?
It's a little spicy. That's why I had to do something good. If I'm doing non-alcoholic,
yeah,
I still had to make it entertaining for you. Jocelyn, I know. We did have drinks last week. We actually had gotten coffee before I coerced Katie and Sam into that recording.
Yeah.
And so we did have beverages. We were just a little tired. And but we got that done. So thank you to everyone who listened. And thank you to Sam and Katie for humoring me with that. But okay, first, another first order of business. Let's talk about your shirt.
Yeah.
I can see it peeking out in the YouTube, and I would recognize that hair. It is the striped hair of Alyssa Lee. Wait, okay, I just saw her pronounce her actual name. Can you say the actual pronunciation?
Yeah. So, I know. So everyone says, I think most people I'll say Alyssa Liu, and then she gave an interview where she was like, the actual pronunciation is Elisa Liao, which is,
Yes.
yeah, which is the
Like both,
Chinese
both.
version.
Elisa, I just said Alyssa and I'm like, oh wait, no, that's wrong. So it's Elisa Leo.
Liao.
Yao. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that right. I think it's
So
important to call people by
it
their
is. And
proper
she says
names.
she doesn't care, but it was kind of crazy because everyone says Alyssa, and she says her family calls her Elisa, but all her friends call her Alyssa.
But
But
she does have very noticeable hair. And that is a very cute shirt showing off the gold medal winner, of course, of
it's her gold skating
the
dress.
gold skating dress, her gold striped hair, and she did win that gold medal in Milan just a few weeks ago. So we are fans here.
We are. I have a little 5-year-old fan who has suddenly gotten interested in ice skating. And
Really?
yeah, so I never considered she might be interested in ice skating because I don't know, it didn't seem like it's something you do as a kid. But then remember we had Catherine Bertine on, and she was saying it's if you live right by an ice rink, it's actually not as fancy as it sounds. And as it turns out, we live within 10 minutes of 2 ice rinks. And her best friend in daycare actually takes skating lessons. So we're like, "Oh, this is actually super accessible." And
Have you
so
gone yet? Has she gone?
we went actually, we've been to the rinks twice. She hasn't gotten on the ice yet, but the first time last weekend, she said she wanted to go, so we were like, "Okay, let's check out these public skating hours." And I myself haven't ice skated in probably 15 years, but I know how. And I used to rollerblade back in the 90s in California when everyone was rollerblading. So I was like, yeah, we'll take her in, we'll go. But then she kind of freaked out a little and didn't even want to put the skates on. And I was like, okay, well, stay here. I'm going to do a lap around. And then as I was skating or remembering how to skate, I was like, I'm really not good enough to have a thrashing 5-year-old hang on to me that doesn't know what she's doing, and she's gonna take us both down. So I got back to her and she was like, "Mommy, don't leave me again." And so I was like, I won't leave you again if you at least put on these ice skates and try them on and make sure they fit." So we at least got her to put them on, like stomp around, walk around on the ground, not on the ice. And then yeah, by the time she was ready to go, she was, like, going up and down the stairs,
What?
like, by herself, going around back and forth on the ground, and it was like, "Okay, I think she could do this." And then today we went to see her little daycare bestie at her skating lesson, and so she's a little bit of a nervous Nelly, my daughter. So she, like, takes kind of a lot of convincing if she's scared, but we're trying to teach her, you have to be brave, you gotta try new things, and it's really hard to, differentiate, like, I'm not trying to force you to do something you don't want to do, but if you're just nervous and scared, then you have to be brave and try. Because we went through the same thing with ballet. She wanted to do ballet, but then she was, like, too nervous and freaking out when we went in. But when she did it, she loved it. And so,
Okay.
yeah. So
This
she's
is like parenting. I'm sure a lot of people are listening and they can probably relate a lot to you're watching this human grow right in front of your
yes.
eyes, right? And try new things like you said, but you when she wins her gold medal,
No
you want her
pressure,
to
Ainsley.
wish that you're happy for her.
But so the reason I didn't learn to swim until I was an adult was I do have a distinct memory of being in daycare and there was like a summer swimming pool day where I went in and I was so freaked out. I was crying and my mom came and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you don't ever have to do this again." So instead of being like, we should probably put you in swim lessons so you're more comfortable in the water, she was like, "Oh, actually, this seems too traumatizing. You don't actually ever have to get in the pool again."
And you wish maybe she'd given you a second try.
Yes, yes. It's an important life skill to be able to swim, not just for triathlon.
Yes, but you here look at you now, you made it work, and you are trying to make things better for your daughter, Ainsley, so she does not have to win a gold medal. I say that in jest, but just in case, but we can refer back to this podcast episode. But I think it's cool that you're giving her opportunities, multiple opportunities to see if she likes it and to see if she does want to follow in Elisa's footsteps
Yes, and
or
we are
state
gonna go
steps,
see
state
her
tracks.
at
Oh,
Stars on Ice with Sam from the
that's
podcast.
right. With
Yes.
Samantha Rothberg, you are going. When are you going to see Stars on Ice? So Elisa will be there.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
so cool.
so we're pretty excited. Yeah, so it's right in between, so it's in Newark, New Jersey, which is right in between me in Delaware and, uh, Sam, who's in Long Island.
Okay.
So we're kinda meeting in the middle. We're gonna go Me and Ainsley are gonna go take the train up there because it's super quick on the train, it's like 2 hours or less.
Okay. And this is happening in May?
Oh, early May, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe you two will have to podcast for that week. And you
We
can cut me
might.
out of this. You can cut me out of this and just talk about Stars on Ice. That sounds so fun to see that Olympic champion
All
on her
the
victory tour.
Olympians hopefully are
All
gonna
the
be there.
Olympians. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. And like you said, living Catherine Bertine's book, but a few decades later when hopefully things are a little bit better for them. But
Yes.
well, very cool. Very appropriate clothing attire. I wore we talked about if I was gonna buy anything like knitwear in New Zealand.
Yeah, like wool from the sheeps.
So it turns out a lot of the knit sweaters are a little out of my budget, I think. And I just didn't have a lot of shopping time in New Zealand. As you can imagine, like when you're there for the race, it's very race focused. Even though I
Mhm.
wasn't racing, I was with athletes, I was prepping for the broadcast. There wasn't a whole lot of shopping time. After the race, I did get this scarf, which is not wool. It is actually 100% polyester and made in China, but I bought it in New Zealand. And I decided I'm a scarf person. So it is it's a from New Zealand scarf.
It's
But I
super
was like, do you think I can
trendy.
pull it off? It was very much within my budget. And even though it was 100% polyester made in
Well,
China, but I
you did a great job, Haley. I logged into work, like, well, while I was at work, I put on the swim, and I was so excited to see you, and, of course, there were a lot of commenters, like,
okay.
on the YouTube, a lot of, like, retired and current pro athletes, you could see, like, what their usernames were, so that
Okay.
was interesting, but,
Some of those might have been fake. I was told
uh
very early on by Craig, who's our kind of our handler for the day. He was like, "Don't read the comments." Like he was like
oh.
first thing he's like, "Don't read the comments." And then I'd heard rumors about certain names that were on there and then people suspecting they were not the real people.
Well, so when you and Tim were on, I think Rinny, who was with Rinny?
Will McCloy.
Okay, so there was the part where Christian Blumenfeld, his aero bar extension broke off, and so people were just shitting on the commentators, but they were like referring to Rinny and Will because they were like, "What is that that's in his hand? Is it his bike computer? Is it this? Is it that?" And everyone's like, "It's the aero bar extension, you dum-dums."
Oh, I'm
And
glad that
then
wasn't my role.
so that wasn't you, and then when you and Tim went on, there was a lot of positive
That's
feedback.
nice.
They were like, we should have Tim and Haley on, like, instead of these other guys."
Oh, I want to clear something up a little bit that it is not us versus them at all.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
in very different roles. I think that's I really admire Rennie and Will for how they're able to work together because they are in different places and
So they're not
they also have a
even
lot more
on
airtime to fill.
location, right?
Right. And they have a lot more time to fill, right? Versus when they would go to Tim and I, it was it was a lot more, what did we see? And so what could we see where we were? Like giving information that Will and Rennie couldn't give.
Mhm.
And so that is a kind of a lot more fun and a lot more like spur of the moment.
Yeah.
I will admit the first two hits, I actually would give myself a lower grade on those first two. I was very nervous at the start, and I haven't watched it back. I know I need to watch it back because I want to get better at it.
Uh-huh.
And so I just need to give myself a little bit of time to get over the jet lag and like be extra kind to myself, I think, as I do it, because I think it is important to listen back, to watch back,
Sure.
to grow from that, to learn if I want to do it again. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I need to do it on a day when I'm feeling super good about myself. And I have probably a couple alcoholic beverages, on hand just in case. But I'm also proud of how I did get better. And Tim and I got better. Like our rapport got better. But we also had the benefit of like standing right next to each other, of seeing the same things. And I think that we got a lot better throughout the day at like our rapport. And then
Okay.
Craig, our handler, Craig Hayden, who is the like PR guy for Ironman Oceania, he and our cameraman, Dan, also like this wasn't their first time. So even though it was Tim and I's kind of first time, they had done this many times and they were able to coach us, give us feedback like in a very kind and constructive way, which is a lot better than a YouTube comment. I could feel us getting better through the day. And I could also feel me, like, for those first two times when they threw to me, I was like, it was like terror. And then by the end of the day, I was like, put me on.
You
I
got
want to
more
talk about Tamara. I want to talk
comfortable.
about
Yes.
this run. I'm like, let's get it with Trevor Foley running behind me. So that was really fun to watch my
Mhm.
own growth. Like when you talk about Ainsley and the ice skating, maybe it doesn't end when you're 5 years old. You can be 40 and still in a kind of similar situation. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I'm an adult. I had chosen to put myself there. I had campaigned for that job
Yes.
and I'd flown across the world for that job. And then I got there and I was like, what was I thinking? but then it got to be really, really fun.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I heard lots of good feedback, even from my own coach. She like wrote a comment in Training Peaks that I sent you,
That was so
where
nice.
where I was like, yes, that's my co-host.
It was so nice. I think it did help a lot that I had recently raced quite a few of those women,
Hmm.
and I ended up actually commentating on the men's race more than I expected, because of how the course was, where they just got the races kind of got mixed together. So it didn't make sense for Tim to only talk about the men and me to only talk about the women, because they were it was like, here comes Trevor Foley and then here comes Kat Matthews right with him. And so like, let's just talk
Because
about
they were
this. Like,
running together for even a little bit, right?
right. And it was, I mean, because Trevor was obviously a lap ahead of Kat, but how it worked out was the races were very intermingled. And so, and Tim actually knew quite a bit about the women's race because he coaches Regan Holyoke. And turns out I knew quite a bit about the men's race. One was because I just luckily had breakfast with Trevor Foley like 2 days before the race.
Ooh.
When I was walking back from our broadcast meeting, I was just kind of hungry. So I stopped at this Greek cafe that was really good. And Trevor and his fiance Sophie were sitting there, and I just said hi, and then they said I could sit with them. So I did. And I chatted with them quite a
Yay!
bit. So that was another thing where it's like, okay, I like to, quote Ina Garten quite a bit and be ready when the luck happens. And I feel like in that moment I got lucky that then Trevor ended up winning the men's race.
Maybe
I had
because
things to
he
talk
had
about.
breakfast with you, he won.
Maybe it could have been that, but it was a fun breakfast. I did actually really enjoy chatting with Trevor. I didn't know him super well before that. It was also fun to watch Matt Hansen, an athlete that I've raced with quite a few times, and we
Mhm.
shared some sponsors, do so well. And so I kind of got lucky that some of the men who did so well, I knew a little bit about if and when I do it again.
Ooh.
No, I
Did you
think it
get
might happen.
did you get feedback from the Ironman, like, higher ups?
Yeah, I
Ooh,
did. I think so. I mean, so I think I will get another opportunity.
okay.
I'm well, I guess I could just say it. I think I will probably likely be at Ironman Texas, which is very exciting. I haven't booked stuff yet, but yeah, I'm excited about that one because I raced there last year, right?
Yeah,
And
that's where you
so
got your Kona qualification.
yes. And so I think that that would be a really neat opportunity to commentate on a course that I have actually raced recently
Mhm.
and in the US, and I'm not exactly sure if it'll be the same role, if it'll be different just because again the cameraman and the Craig were very based in Oceania, so I don't know exactly
Mhm.
how it's going to work in North America. And I also think that even this role is something that changed as the day went on because
Okay.
initially, like Tim and I had much smaller roles. We were separate. And then they were like, no, we like you together. And so we had
Oh,
more roles
that's
and they put us on
amazing.
more and then they liked us together. So, it changes throughout the day and you don't really know. So I don't know if it'll be the exact same role, but I think I really enjoyed it. I think I can improve on it. I will, before Texas, study even the men's race field a little bit more than I did going into New Zealand. Again, I kind of got lucky in New Zealand. And obviously, Tim knew a lot. And some of these men I do know from just being on the race circuit before. But I know Texas will be a massive field. And so I am glad I have this experience under my belt so that I can hopefully do a little bit more homework leading into Ironman Texas. But I I actually came away with a lot of admiration for Rennie and Will
For the
and the
commentary
production.
crew, yeah. Well, I
Yes,
do
like
think 7+ years of podcasting, you really are like a professional speaker.
thank you. Again, early on I did not feel it. It was like, "Oh, this is so different." But then it got better, and then I think having the podcast experience, yes, that definitely does help, and I think also having the race experience helps,
Mhm.
and what I would want people to talk about me, and say about me, I can kinda think about that, like, oh, they would wanna say, that they had a better than typical expected swim, or they're coming back on the run or, those kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully I notice that because I have been in those situations. And then I think it is fun to be in the action and see that. But I've also watched a lot of the broadcasts. And so I
Mhm.
think that that does help. And like I said, I haven't gone back and watched this one, but I will. And I think that uh having seen things and thought as a viewer, okay, here's how that could have been said different or how I would feel that time. I think thinking about that ahead of time
Mhm.
helps, but it is very hard in the moment when all you can see is what's on the screen or hear. Like, I have the broadcast on my phone. I'm also trying to look at the tracker. Somehow I would, if I'm, in the same role in Texas, I would actually like to have like two phones or maybe a phone and an iPad that I can hotspot because just so I can always have the tracker up and always
Yeah.
have the broadcast up. Because it is hard if you switch between and the broadcast goes away and you just don't you wanna know what they said so you don't repeat them, as well, but
Oh,
but
yeah.
also it's
Yeah.
like, sometimes if you repeat people, it's not that big a deal. Again,
Sure.
people know it's a live show and it's 10 hours
I
long.
still wanna campaign for a better outfit for you, though.
I thought I looked okay in that polo shirt and hat.
It was
I
the
will s
colors, though,
Black?
the lack of color.
But I had my little pops of neon. I had a little neon onesie underneath, and so I had, like, my pop which is my cheer outfit. So, like, when I was done with my duties and I could just go out and cheer for Katie racing, I could take off the polo and,
I
she'd
saw
be able
the
to spot
neon
me.
shorts, but only in, like, maybe a picture that Sam took of you or somebody
That might have been
else
it.
because, yeah, on the broadcast, it was, like, all
Boost
black.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Aw. I will say with that sun, I was actually quite glad to have my shoulders covered and my
Yeah.
head covered because the sun's rays when you're not moving around a lot were quite extreme. So maybe my typical tank top life wouldn't have been the best.
The
I
ozone
did reapply
layer.
sunscreen. I did reapply sunscreen, but man, that sun is something else. But thank you for watching. I'm glad it hopefully worked out a little bit with your Friday afternoon and it was a big thrill and I'll take feedback from you and some trusted sources. I'm not ready to like ask the crowd for feedback yet, I don't think.
Sure.
Our podcast listeners, I would take feedback from podcast listeners because my skin is not quite that thick yet, but I do want to improve and get better.
Uh-huh.
So if our podcast listeners have feedback on things they would like to see, I can try my best to get it done. But
Yeah.
it is quite the production. I mean everything that goes into showing a race that covers that much space and is ever changing like that and doing everything from so many different locations across the globe is very impressive.
Mhm.
So I think it's cool that they pulled it off. I think there is some racing happening this weekend. I will not be commentating at any of it, but the season continues. That was like the kickstart
That
of
was.
the professional triathlon season, and if people want to watch commentary this weekend, there's plenty for them to watch.
Yeah, there's T100. Um, where's that happening? Is that
Gold Coast.
okay?
So it's Australia. I did look this up because I wasn't sure where the Gold Coast was. This is not a part of Australia I've ever been to. It is just south of Brisbane, so it's kind of like the East Coast in the middle, so a lot further north
So what we would call East Coast, they
than
call it the
Sydney.
Gold Coast,
Yes, there you
something
go.
like
And I
that.
think it's pretty warm. I think as you move closer to the equator, so north, it gets a lot warmer. And this is an all women's race. So
That's
just 20
right.
women racing.
So they're splitting, yeah, because this year they're splitting some. Is it all the races are only one gender, or are there just a couple of them that are both?
I think most of the races are one gender. Maybe the final is both genders.
Okay.
So this is the first race of the series. It will be all women, and then the second race will be all men, which will be in Singapore next month. So, um, it will, T100 does put on a very good broadcast. I believe that race is happening Saturday in Australia, Saturday afternoon. I think it has like a 1:30 p.m. start time in Australia, which is
That sounds hot.
sounds very hot. Sounds very hot. Um, but that means Friday late night viewing for you. I
Oh,
think it's 11:30 p.m. Eastern is
that's
when it starts.
a
The
little
broadcast starts
too late.
9:30 p.m. Mountain. That's not too bad for
Not
me.
bad for you.
It's a little late for you. Maybe you could watch the replays in the morning, but
Yeah.
or if you're up late, you can't sleep, you can always like check
If
it
I've
in
had too
between
much
your
coffee stout.
coffee beer. There you go. Um this was the other crazy thing. I didn't realize this, and maybe it's not totally right on the T100 website, but the broadcast starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, or not Eastern, Mountain Time.
Okay.
And then the race starts at 9:35 Mountain Time. So there's only like a 5-minute
Oh,
preamble. I was
okay.
like, whoa. Having just kind of done like the broadcast, I was like, don't you need more to make sure you like catch the start? But I guess they got it down. And I kind of like sometimes the like videos of people
Like,
coming into
yeah,
transition, wrecking their
yeah.
bikes, a
Ironman
little
does that.
nervous.
Maybe
Or in
this
Kona where they do some pre-race interviews.
right, where they're like, "Ah, get that camera out of my face."
Except they don't I'd always get interviewed except for this last one, they didn't want me, but, joke's on them. Now I'm there all the time. So that's gonna be, exciting racing. The T100 does have a different look this year. It is not going to be contract based.
Okay.
We can have different athletes at every race, which is exciting. Did you get a chance to look at the start list?
Yes, and then there's been a lot of, withdrawals. So,
Yes.
yeah, some of
The
my
the
original
2
picks got scratched.
the 2 big withdrawals, Kate Woff, who did win the T100 series last year, will not be racing. I think she had a little bit of an injury and just doesn't quite feel race ready. So Kate will not be racing. And then Ash Gentle, who um
Just announced a
as
pregnancy, so
yes.
that's
So
exciting for
she's
her.
right, will not be racing this season, and but very, very exciting news for Ash. But the start list is still very good. These T100 races do
Mhm.
attract a very good start list, and one big standout I saw, Taylor Knibb,
Yes.
traveling to Australia, going to race T100, start her season at, T100 Gold Coast.
Yep, I put her as my top pick
You
because
put her as your top pick?
because she's very strong and also a fellow American.
Yes, I feel like there are not a ton of Americans on that start list. I Is she the only one? She might be.
It's a long way to travel, as you know.
Yes. Yes, I know. I'm still recovering. As I know when I woke up at 12:30 PM, that's like noon yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Um,
how your jet lag was.
Not good. It's getting better though. It's getting better. I feel a little nocturnal at the moment, but I'm making myself get outside. I'm making myself look at the sun. I'm getting better. I'm very proud of myself for coming back on Thursday when I do not have to go back to work until Monday to give myself that time because
Yeah.
as we've chatted, I kind of work East Coast hours, so that like 5 a.m. Monday comes up quick. So and hopefully I will be ready. I have never in my life had Sunday scaries. You know how people talk about they have the Sunday scaries and they're
Yeah.
scared about Monday, but I had Sunday scaries on Thursday. I was like, I can't do it. So think good thoughts for me heading into this week after 2 weeks off when people don't normally take off work. So it's we'll see how it worked out. But you know, they made it 12 years without me. I'm sure they were just fine. 2 weeks without me. Not that important in the old public accounting world yet. Okay, let's say your picks. Who when you look at that start list, who are you picking top 3 and dark horse?
Ooh, and
Someone
a
to watch.
dark horse.
I know it's hard to have a dark horse in a 20-person race.
Yeah. Well, so
They're all really
originally
good.
I was gonna pick Julie Duran, but then she also scratched. So yeah, so I've got Taylor Knibb, number 1, Sarah Perez Sala, number 2, and Ellie Salthouse, number 3. And then
Interesting.
for a dark horse, I think so Regan Holyoke just did Ironman New Zealand, and Rebecca Clark also?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Um,
So did Lotta Vilms, also on that
yes,
list.
yes,
And so did Rhianne Hughes, also on that list.
that's wild. But hey,
Yeah.
they're gonna get money, so take that money. Okay,
Are you picking
Imogen
one of them?
Simmons. I'll pick
You're
Imogen
picking
Simmons
Imogen.
as a dark horse because she's coming back from that thing,
Doping thing.
that doping thing.
She had a doping suspension that was actually overturned.
Yes.
So, but she was out of racing for a long time. The mental anguish, I imagine financial stress of not racing, defending herself in that doping tribunal. She was found not at fault, so she's back. But yeah, it is good to see her back. So good dark horse pick. My picks, I did pick Taylor Knibb for the win.
Mhm.
And second place, I picked Nicole Vanderkay. So she is
Ooh.
a New Zealand athlete, and I think
Okay.
she actually won the Port of Taronga half, which was prior to Challenge Wanaka and Ironman New Zealand.
Oh.
I'm got the Kiwi fever, and
Mhm.
I have watched these athletes race so well as they're coming through their summer. And she won that race. So she beat Hannah Berry in that race. And Hannah Berry is an athlete who we saw
Wow.
do very well in the T100 circuit last year.
Yeah.
So I'm picking her for the podium. I picked Ellie Salthouse for third. I think she had an incredible season at T100 last year. Once she got her knee fixed, man,
Yeah.
she had some very good races. And my dark horse, I put Sarah Perez Sala, not
Okay.
totally a dark horse. You picked her for second. So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe Nicole Vanderkay would have been a better dark horse. I think Sarah goes a little under-recognized. I think she last year raced the Paratri event on the same
Yes.
day and
Right.
finished in the top 3. And so I'm like, maybe that was a good warm-up for her, but also maybe she's just on and this is a
She
good course
is
for
just
her.
a superstar like that. And yeah,
Yeah.
she guides for an athlete that's visually impaired, which is very amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Susanna Rodriguez, is that the athlete that she guides for? Spanish
Susanna is her
athlete?
first name, I know for sure.
Okay. Did I
I don't know
I'll
her I don't remember off the top of my head.
we'll get that for sure for people, but I think that it is very cool to see what Sarah Perez Sala is capable of while guiding athletes and on her own. And
Mm-hmm.
so good. It'll be fun to see her on the start line back in Australia. So again, Friday evening, late night in the United
Late.
States, if you want to tune in to T100, or, Saturday morning with your coffee, you can watch that and see how their commentating compares to Ironman New
Compare and
Zealand.
contrast.
Again, I will take feedback only from podcast listeners. So if you are a podcast listener, I will listen to your feedback. And then the fun doesn't stop there, Jocelyn, because after T100 Gold Coast, we have
Yes.
Geelong 70.3, which is the next stop of the Ironman Pro Series. And that is happening also in Australia on Sunday, March 22nd.
Okay. Why did
But
I think it was Dallas? Is that the following week?
No, Dallas is also this weekend, but that is not
Oh.
part of the Pro Series. It just has a weirdly large men's field. So
Okay.
it's not, Dallas is not, that's a new race in Little Elm, Texas.
So
in
it has a
the
pro
Dallas area.
field, but it's not a pro series race.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. And so there will not be coverage in Dallas.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be there. No, I'm just kidding. My sister lives in Dallas. I'd have a place to stay. They can't make it
Yeah.
that convenient for me. But it will be fun to see how that race in Dallas. No, Dallas is actually that's tomorrow.
Is it?
So we're recording this on Saturday, and Dallas is happening
Oh.
Sunday. So Dallas will have already happened.
Okay.
But yes, so Dallas is the first North American race. It is not a pro series. But after this airs, Sunday the 22nd is Geelong 70.3, the Ironman next stop in the Ironman Pro Series. So this is bigger money, points, competing for that year-end prize bonus purse. That race starts at, I think I wrote down the pro women start at 7:37 a.m. Guessing the pro men start at 7:35.
Mm-hmm.
This is my new life where I really care about men's racing as well.
But we're not doing picks for the men. That's too much to ask
Okay.
of me.
But you could do picks for the men.
we
On this
could.
one, I think you could.
Okay,
I'll throw out
okay.
3 names for you.
Okay.
So I think that is Saturday for us, 4:37 p.m. Eastern time and
Okay.
2:37 p.m. Mountain time. So maybe after your trip next weekend to the ice rink, you can come back and watch 70.3 Geelong. But as you mentioned, this race also has a lot of overlap with Ironman New Zealand. There were quite a few athletes who went straight from Ironman New Zealand to Geelong, really trying to knock out 2 of those 5 races to get those Pro Series points.
That's crazy. Okay, so that would be, does that make them 2 weeks apart?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Okay, that's not that crazy. I've done 2 Ironmans 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, we're talking to one of the most prolific Ironman racers of all time, Jocelyn the Wong Neill. But it is wild to see this many athletes race that close together.
Yeah.
But I think it is geography plays a big part of it.
Sure,
So
it's
Geelong
close.
is in the southern part of Australia, closer to New Zealand. It's close to Melbourne. So a little bit cooler, the temperatures, and then also starting at 7:30 in the morning. I imagine it will be a little bit cooler. So not quite the heat of the Gold Coast. And this will be live on Ironman's YouTube again. Did you like the show being on YouTube versus
It was so easy.
outside TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so easy. And then I did not realize how many commenters like to comment. But yeah, I would try to
Did you comment?
Of course. Yeah, I plugged. I would be like, Haley Chura, it's Haley. Haley's so good at this. She's so great at speaking. Like, bring her back. Haley's amazing.
Okay, I will say it makes a difference, though. It does, because I
Yeah.
did hear, they were like, the comments about you are positive. And I was like, okay, let's just stop the conversation there. And so it does make a difference. Thank you. If you think that they aren't, they are reading. They are reading the comments.
Yeah.
That's
what I told our listeners. You got to spam the comments about how amazing Haley is.
Yes, please. Yeah, mark your calendar for Ironman Texas. I think that's like it's the Saturday around the like 19th or 18th or 19th. I don't have a calendar in front
Is
of
it
me.
on YouTube too?
Yeah, it's the 18th, April 18th, and it will be on YouTube.
Okay, because that does
Yeah.
make it easier than having to, like, is it outside watch? Do I need to remember my login? Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. No, the viewing this weekend, if you're in the US, very easy. T100 YouTube for that Gold Coast race, and then Ironman YouTube for Geelong 70.3. I don't know who's commentating for Geelong, but hopefully it's just as good as Ironman New Zealand. And uh looking at that start list, could I make you make
Okay.
some picks? Well, let's first talk about who's racing again. After New Zealand, we have Kat Matthews, the winner of Ironman New Zealand.
Yeah.
Again, we forgot to mention how the pro race played out last weekend. I had spent a lot of time talking about the pro race, so I guess I just forgot on
It's
my own show.
okay.
Kat Matthews did win, broke Chelsea Sodero's record from
The top
2024
3
by 12
women
minutes. The
broke
top 3 women
that
broke that
record.
record, 8:40. They
Yeah.
all went under 8:40. Kat was 8:28, but you had 2 other women within 12 minutes of Kat, which
Mhm.
is pretty darn
That
good.
is pretty darn good.
Having Hannah Berry and Lotta Vilms right there, and Tamara Jewett was not far behind Lotta in 4th.
Oh,
So
she ran them down. That was amazing.
Tamara's another one back
Mhm.
at it in Geelong. This is what, 3 races in
I
a
see
month for Tamara?
Gabby Lumpkis again.
Gabby, another person, 3
Yeah,
races in a month.
she was
Rebecca
my
Clark
dark
doing
horse from last time.
T100 had 3 races
Steph
in a month.
Clutterbuck is
So,
also on the list.
yes, I did talk to Steph after Ironman New Zealand. She's having a few struggles with her POTS diagnosis and the symptoms that relate
Huh.
to that. So hopefully she is feeling well enough to race in Geelong. I know she mentioned that some days are great and she's totally symptom free and she just doesn't know until the day. So she's definitely working through that. If anyone has a contact with Katie Ledecky, please let us know because Katie Ledecky also has POTS. And I feel
What?
like yes, and obviously does very, very well. So I'm like,
Interesting.
we need to put Steph and Katie in touch. I don't have contact with Katie Ledecky,
So
but
I
someone out there
have a
does.
confession. Borrowed Katie Ledecky's book from the library. Oh, see, back to the library again.
What happened to you at the library?
No, no. Like a year ago, I was like, I'm gonna read more because it's fun, you know? It's fun to read for fun, right? But I hadn't since having Ainsley. So I was like, okay, so let me get some books that are interesting. So I did get her autobiography and I only made it through the first chapter. That's my confession.
Okay, it's actually a fantastic
Is
autobiography.
it? I
Yes,
couldn't
go back
make
to the
it past
library.
like the first or second chapter. Sorry, Katie
No, it's
Ledecky.
so good. There were so many parts of it that I adored. I think it's probably something I should reread now.
Is it because you grew up a swimmer and I didn't?
Maybe it could be that because there is a lot of
There
like
was a lot about
swimming niche
swimming.
terminology that
Yeah.
maybe makes a little bit more sense to me. I think it's just there is something really special about Katie's ability to work so hard. Like work
Mhm.
so hard and as a young kid, as a young adult, now as full-grown adult woman, and I really admire that. I think she's pretty honest about a lot of the things in life that she hasn't done because she is so focused on swimming and she seems like she has a very good head on her shoulders of knowing her place in history a little bit. Like knowing that she's very privileged and had a lot of opportunities, but also knowing that what she is doing hasn't been done before and being okay with that and opening that door. I
Okay.
think I really, really admire that. I think she is maybe 28, 29 years old now and training with a college team. And I know that that would be really hard. You know, like
Yeah.
you think of 28, 29 as like quite young, but if you're training with a bunch of 20-year-olds, there's a big life difference
That
there.
is, yeah.
And to do the events that she does, those distance events, like you're training so much, like so much. And to have done that for several decades now is just
Mhm.
incredible. And a lot of times when you see an athlete do so well when they're so young, they're 14, 15, it is really hard to continue that. You think about Elisa Leo, who
Yeah.
even took a break. She did very well when she was very
Yes.
young, but took a break and came back, which is really good. I mean, that's very exciting. But Katie Ledecky has never taken a break, really. She has like pushed forward, and so I really, really admired her story. I think it's a very kid friendly book. So I think maybe if you and Ainsley wanted to read it together, maybe that would be kind of cool. Um, just some of the themes on the positive takeaways that sports can bring to your life in ways that other things can't. I really enjoyed it. And she did talk about her POTS diagnosis and
Okay. Okay.
how she manages that. I do think with swimming, it's a little bit better because I do think swimming is actually supposed to help with POTS. I think
Interesting.
laying prone. I think where Steph Clutterbuck has issues is a lot of in triathlon, you're prone and then you're crunched over
Right.
and then you're
Oh,
upright.
okay. Yeah.
And so I think that makes it very difficult. And there aren't a whole lot of athletes with POTS racing Ironman. So
Right.
Steph is blazing a trail there as well. So I would encourage you. Maybe we both need to get back to the library these days. And you could get Katie Ledecky's book, and I'll, you know, figure out what I'm picking up there.
Or who you're picking up.
Yet to be determined. I haven't made it there yet.
We'll get the full update once you do.
Yes, maybe after tax season. But anyway, going back to Geelong and the start list, who are your picks?
Okay. So, for the dudes.
You're starting with the dudes.
Sure. I mean, I'm just glancing
Can
at
we
these
talk
now.
about why this race is very exciting on the men's side? It is Hayden Wild,
Huh?
Christian Blumenfeld, Jelle Geens going
Yes.
head to head. I believe this is the first time the three of them have gone head to head since the Olympics. And
Okay.
so it's a big matchup on the men's side.
Number one.
Who you picking?
Jelle Geens.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he
Over
okay.
Hayden
So that
Wild.
is the reigning world champion, I believe. That was the sprint finish, right? Or did Christian win?
No, I think Jelle did. But then,
Okay.
is Hayden Wild the T100 reigning
Yes.
world champ? So I have him as number 2. And then I'll put Christian Blumenfeld number 3, assuming he gets his aero bar fixed.
Yes. Okay. It was Jelle did outsprint Christian at
Although
that
he
race
just
in
did an
Marbella.
Ironman. I don't know. He's fine.
Christian just did an Ironman?
Right?
Wait. So you picked Jelle, Hayden, Christian.
Yes. He's fine.
pick.
He's a Norwegian.
Yeah.
But
I am going with Hayden first, Jelle second. I'm going to go with Pierre Lacour in third.
oh.
So he had a great debut in his first Ironman at New Zealand. He finished second.
Oh, okay.
In the post-race interview, I think maybe there was some lost in translation here, but I think he said he had only been training for 2 weeks. So we take that with a grain of salt. Maybe 2 weeks on his TT. No, because he's raced well at 70.3 before, I think. But still, Ironman debut, he looked very controlled. Christian just actually did look like he was running hard. Once he started feeling
Okay.
better, he ran pretty hard that marathon to get himself back up to 6th. I don't know what kind of like soreness you have after riding almost a full Ironman distance with one bar.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm probably wrong to doubt Christian Blumenfeld. I recognize that that man loves to suffer. He's probably very excited about this matchup and getting a little redemption. So
Yeah.
can I put Christian as my dark horse? No, I'm just
Yes.
No.
You're allowed.
I always get mad when people would pick use their dark horse as just fourth place, but here I am doing it. Do you have a dark horse?
I don't know enough of these men's names.
It's
We have a
okay.
lot
We're
of,
learning. We're learning about men's sports.
I need to make a shirt that everyone watches men's sports too,
Yes.
sometimes.
Um, okay, moving on to the women's field.
Yeah, I remember being surprised to see Kat Matthews, but then you explained how it's like the second pro series race, and it's right by New Zealand, so it all makes sense. But are they gonna be tired? I'm gonna put Tamara Jewett for the win.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know. It's I believe in her.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think she's got it. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see how much faster she ran than Kat Matthews? But
Dead.
yeah,
But did you see her swim? Her swim compared to Kat. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It
Is
was
it because you
savage.
coached her? You like gave her tips.
Yeah, maybe. Of course. Of course it
Mhm.
was that.
It
I
was
was
that.
super psyched. I was super psyched about Tamara's swim. She came out in a really, really good position. And I think that did help set up the rest of her day. I'll take all the credit. No, I'm just kidding. But the
Yeah,
credit
well,
goes
you did that.
to Tamara.
You did that little training camp with her, so it mattered.
Um, exactly. Cannot take any credit for her running, but it is fun to watch her run. So you're picking Tamara for the win. What about second and third?
Okay. So, I don't know, you can never count out Kat Matthews, but I think she's stronger at the full Ironman distance. Mm, because everyone always picks Kat Matthews for the win. I'm gonna not. Or
Our
not I'm not gonna
contrarian
have her on
host
the
here.
podium. I still
What?
wanted Nina Duran to do well. Um, she didn't do so well in New Zealand, so I'll put her for second.
A lot
And
can change in
then
2 weeks. So
exactly. I feel like
I hope.
people that didn't do great in New Zealand have that extra fire under their butt. And
Mhm.
then, I really wanted to see Gabby Lucas do well, so I'll put her in third. I'll have Kat
Okay.
Matthews as my dark horse.
Fair enough. We need to maybe change the title of Dark Horse and just be like
The
bonus
bonus
person we want
pick.
to mention.
It's the
Bonus
honorable
person we want to.
mention, not the dark horse, it's the honorable mention.
No one is a dark horse in these races. I feel like these races are too big. Everyone's too fast. But okay, people pick Kat Matthews because when Kat Matthews shows up, she often wins. And so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am picking Kat Matthews for the win. I think she looked very controlled in New Zealand, and I think she is setting up her season to be a massive season, and each step is methodically thought out, and I don't think she shows up unless she is ready to perform. So she shows up. I'm picking her for the win. I have second place. I'm going to pick Grace Tech. Grace is an athlete who's done very well at the 70.3 distance, and she did well at her first full distance in Roth last year. So very strong, very consistent athlete,
She's
and she's also
fresh.
raced. She's fresh. She is fresh. This is her debut for the season, and she has raced in Geelong before. She and
Okay,
Nina Duran back in 2018. I interviewed Grace after that. Nina got her right at the end,
okay.
so it was a very exciting race. So I picked Grace Tech for second, and then I'm picking Tamara for third.
Mhm.
I think she's on a roll. The momentum is definitely in her favor. Southern Hemisphere Tamara is a happy, fast podium Tamara. So we're picking her for third. My dark horse, I'm going to pick Charlotte McShane, who is
Ooh.
an athlete a little bit further down the list. This is an actual dark horse. I
An
think
actual
people aren't
dark
really
horse.
looking at Charlotte. She was a really strong ITU athlete, and I think she even did a full Ironman last year. So she must be enjoying some of these longer distances. She keeps showing up, and I think sometimes you see these short course athletes, they need a little bit of time to figure out nutrition, bike position, uh, going so much longer, but we know that they are very fast, very talented athletes. So I'll be excited to see how she does. So it's a big weekend of racing, and
A lot of
Jocelyn, I'm
racing.
excited to again catch up with you and get the scoop on the skating lessons as we go forward. And um thank you again for watching the commentary and offering some very nice feedback on both the YouTube and to my face.
Of course. And best of luck getting back on the time zone here and going back to work Monday.
Thank you. I definitely need it. I will chat with you again in a couple weeks.
Okay. See you then.